Hi, everybody. Before we get to another great interview, we could really use your help. IMDb, which is the entertainment database, recently named the Two Opinionated podcast one of its top 100 podcasts. This is a monumental feat for this program. You know, we're a father and son team out of a small town in West Virginia, have been doing this for about 5 years. There's 15 million podcasts out there. About 40,000 of those get to the point that they're listed on IMDb. Out of those 40,000 out of the 15 million, we're ranked number 82. Something that we're just immensely proud of. We're so thankful for our listeners, our watchers, our fans. Thank you so, so much. If you would like to help us out, and we're asking for it, please. It's easy. It's really easy. It's free. If you go to IMDb, that's imdb.com, look up Two Opinionated Podcast, and just take a look at the page. That's all you have to do. I mean, you're welcome to look at the cast, look at the episodes so you can kind of see who's been on the program. Do whatever you want. But even just bringing up the page, imdb.com, Two Opinionated Podcast, bring up the page, look at it. That helps us so much. So please, if you can do anything, we would really appreciate that. Our YouTube channel is MeisterCon Pod. Love to have your subscription there. It's also free. And you can also check out our website, meistercon.com, where you'll find almost 700 episodes, audio and video, available on there. There's also a terrific blog from Brett, and it'll let you know anything that we have going on in studio, if we're covering a convention, if we're going on location, anything that we have going on will be on the website, meistercon.com. Thank you guys so, so much. We appreciate you so much. I can't express enough how appreciative we are of all of you. We never expected to do as well as we have, and that's all because of you. Thank you so much. Enjoy that interview. Bye, everybody. Oh, hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Two Opinionated. I'm so excited today. I've got actress Ava Cantrell with me. So welcome, Ava.
Hi. Thank you so much for having me on the show. I'm so excited to be here.
I know. I'm so excited that you're here. We've seen you in a bunch of stuff, over the last few years, and you just keep getting in more and more, which is awesome. But we loved you on Young Sheldon. I know it wasn't a huge role, but it was a fun one.
Yeah, exactly. It really was. And working with kind of like one of my idols, Jason Alexander, like Seinfeld. Yeah, Seinfeld is genuinely one of the best comedic TV shows out there.
Yeah.
So yeah,
and it still holds up.
Oh yeah. Oh, it does. It really does.
Yeah, I mean, you don't really pay attention to the fact that they're, they've kind of got cell phones, but they're the ones that you have to like set on your shoulder.
Yeah, a big old brick.
But the humor pretty much holds up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know we need more shows like that.
I know. I think so too. I mean, I think I always assumed that like Big Bang and Young Sheldon would be something that would hold up for a while, for sure.
Yeah, I think so. Big Bang it is one. There's not a ton of cultural references. There's a few, but most of it, I think the humor would hold up. And Young Sheldon will too. It's basically taking place in the past anyway. So
right. Good point. Yeah.
But no, what was that like to actually get to share some scenes with Jason? Because he's like, if I could pick an actor I wanted to work with, he'd definitely be near the top.
Yeah. It was pretty crazy. It was actually one of the most challenging things that I've done, just because he's really funny.
Yeah.
And a lot of what he did on Young Sheldon was improv and just kind of off the cuff, where he would.
It doesn't surprise me, but I didn't know that.
Right? Yeah. So like I didn't really know what to expect either, because usually it's like script. But I think he's just so seasoned as a comedic actor that he knows how to like stay within the realm that he needs to, but also mix things up. So whenever he would, it would just really it was so hard to stay in the scene and keep a straight face. Like
Yeah.
there was this one scene we did, and it's the closing, and where he's, Annie
Yeah.
in the play, and I'm Molly. And we did just like a bunch of takes of that end clip where I'm kind of sitting on the bed and he's sitting next to me and he's got like the handkerchief. And I just remember him doing the funniest things. And like I liked the cut that ended up in there, but there was so many takes where he was just like, I don't know, like there's one time where he like took the rag, and I had all this like makeup dirt on my face because we're orphans, and he
Of
just
course.
like just had it. I just started scrubbing my face with it. I don't know. It was really fun, and it was also challenging just because how fun it was. And I was like, I'm at work. Hold
Yeah.
together.
It'd be hard to hold it together, I think.
Yeah, it
You know,
was.
which we always kind of like. Everybody loves those SNL skits where they break character.
They're the best.
Yeah. So we probably would have loved it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Those SNL, when they break character, it's like, yes, it's funny because they're breaking character. And it's also usually like funny enough for them to break character.
Yeah.
So the script's really funny, and them just not being able to
Yeah,
hold it
it's not
together.
bad.
Yeah.
It'd be tough to be like, it'd be tough to share a scene with Jason and not just be the straight person,
Yeah.
to his
Oh
funny
yeah.
person.
Yeah. You
I
have to
think
let
it'd be difficult to be funny with him there.
I don't think there is being funny unless you're like another comedic legend, like the
Yeah.
other people from Seinfeld, like Elaine, like she's amazing to me,
Oh yeah, she is.
right? I
Yeah.
don't know why her name is. Uh,
Julia Louise Dreyfus.
yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're like on that level, like good luck trying to keep up and be funny because you kind of just have to let people that are that brilliant shine in their moment
Yeah.
as far as comedy goes. Because somebody I don't know, like how I learned comedy too is everybody in a comedic scene has to take it super seriously. So you have somebody delivering the funny stuff, but everybody around you, it's so much funnier to watch it back after if everybody is taking the comedy
Right.
seriously.
Yeah, you're exactly right.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
that's not easy to do. Which,
no.
comedy, it's all about timing. And if the timing's just a little off, even if you're not the person, doing the comedy, it can throw it off.
Oh yeah. It's so mathematical.
Yeah.
Acting in general, I feel like it is very kind of mathematical. More than
I've never had anybody say that, but hearing it, I'm like, yeah, that kind of is.
right? Yeah, I've always approached it like, yeah, like you can get pretty artsy fartsy with it and like do whatever you want. But to me, I've always like kind of had strategy. It's about strategy. Comedy is very mathematical to me, and then drama is I approach it strategically.
Yeah. I love that.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's pretty good. One thing I'll say about Seinfeld before we move on is I think part of the reason everybody loved it was kind of slapsticky
Yeah,
without being ridiculous. It's really hard to do slapstick and not just look like you're doing slapstick.
yeah, and not just be taking it too far and just be too silly.
Right. Which is
Yeah.
what I think that's the pitfall a lot of comedies fall into is they
Mhm.
can't kind of strike that balance. And it looks,
Hard.
it's ridiculous with that. Where Seinfeld and some of those comedies from that era, they're really good at that type of thing. So
Yeah.
stuff happens to them, and you don't just say, "Well, that would never happen. That's stupid." You just
Right.
laugh
No.
because it's funny.
Right. Yeah. And the actors are taking it seriously and the script
Yeah.
takes it seriously,
Yeah.
which is work.
Mm. We should write a book.
I know, I like your comedic opinions. I agree with them.
Maybe we should. We could team up on a book
Mhm,
about acting,
mhm.
and we'll include the mathematical and strategic side of it.
Yeah, I'm all for that.
I feel hmm. I feel like we're
Our
on something.
opinions need to be told.
I think you're going to be able to give up acting. I think this book career is going to take off.
Honestly, I think, like, in all seriousness, I think that everybody should everybody has something that they could write a book about,
Agree.
you know?
Yeah. Yeah, because it doesn't, I mean, every book is not, let's say, enjoyable to read, but everybody has a story to tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think it's, even if you're not a very good writer, it's good to write something.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
It's a good exercise the mind. And I don't know, I think it's good.
Yeah.
Especially as an adult, we don't use our imagination like we used to.
Yeah, that's true. I feel like the only time I am is when I'm acting.
Yeah. 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 Well, it's okay. So let me back us up a little bit because I jumped ahead. Tell me a little bit about what got you into acting. Why'd you want to become an actress? Because that's not an easy field to kind of make a career out of.
No, it's not. um, yeah. Well, I got into it as a kid. I was like a competitive dancer and I liked the performing
Yeah.
aspect of it more than the other aspects. And my dad was like an actor as a kid, just because he loved it and had a passion
Yeah.
for it and didn't do it after he was a kid. And I think he saw something in me that he felt like he had in himself, where there was that passion for it.
Yeah.
And when I was 7 or 8, we just kind of started picking it up and I don't know, just trying it and doing monologues and stuff like that. And then I pretty quickly got an agent. The one that I'm still currently with, I really love my whole team. And I don't know, it's just like a good. I think it was just a good fit. It was always like it was always like a side hobby
Right.
to me in my life, just because it's so fickle. So when I would get an audition, everything, all the, it would become my first priority.
Right.
But it has to be something you're willing to drop everything around you for when
Yeah.
you get an opportunity. But it's always just been this really nice like side passion to me. And when Abigail happened and I was filming and like yeah, especially around filming time, it was crazy to be in my side passion and my side hobby and not have it feel like a side hobby. Like it felt like, oh my God, this is like my job for like a month straight. Like this is crazy. So that was just like it was such an amazing opportunity, and you don't really get those a lot, even
That's
if
right.
you are like an actor who does a lot of acting.
Yeah. Yeah. And you got to take advantage when, especially a starring role, you got to
Yeah.
take advantage of that.
Yeah. Yeah, it was amazing. Yeah, I had to drop my college classes for the semester, and I was just like, yeah, this is important. I gotta take it. Taking some time.
What are you going to school for?
Business,
Oh,
business. Yeah, just business accounting, just stuff outside of the industry because I'm already in the industry. Like I'm
well, you
already.
need a fallback or
Yeah.
something to do if you decide to hang it up.
I feel like my advice to young actors would be, even if you absolutely love this job, this business, this art form so much, have other hobbies, have other interests and
Yeah.
skills, because you need them, because it's so fickle. And also, it's kind of exciting when you get to combine other things. Like there's a lot of things that you can do within the industry. And if you're really committed to being in the industry and filmmaking or
True.
something like that, you don't always have to be just the actor.
Yeah, that's
So
true. There's a ton of things you could do.
so many outlets.
Yeah. Do you have any desire at some point to say get behind the camera?
Well, I'm a photographer in that's like my other kind of
Yeah.
side hobby. So I think that I would like to, there's just a lot of things that I would like to try um behind the camera. There's a
Yeah.
lot. I mean, and I think that every like writing, directing, producing are all things that interest me to
Yeah.
try at least once.
Well, yeah. What's the harm?
Right. Right.
It may turn out you're really good at something else.
Yeah, you never know.
No, you never know. Yeah,
Yeah.
I never thought I'd be podcasting.
Yeah.
I was in
Yeah.
business. Call centers was my thing. I did that for most of my life and never really enjoyed it.
See, you need an outlet. You need a creative
Yeah,
outlet.
you got to have a creative outlet. So my son and I tried this podcast just expecting to it to be more of a vehicle for us to, connect, and it turned
Oh,
into something.
oh my
Here
God.
we are. So it's
Yes,
5 years later, and I'm like, I should
wow.
have been doing this 20 years ago.
That is really cool. It's amazing how things work out that way, isn't it?
It really is. I think everybody at some point you're going to find what you're supposed to do. Now, whether or not you actually do it, that's probably up to you, but it's
Yeah.
going to come, into your path at some point, and you just have to choose to try it, which is kind of scary at times if you're doing something that maybe you shouldn't be doing, but you've been doing it for a really long time, so you're comfortable. Hard to
You
get
gotta
out.
take those leaps of faith.
That's right, leaps of faith. Yeah, yeah, but that's not easy to do.
No, it's not. Easier said than done.
That's right. So okay, so Abigail,
Yeah.
which is out now.
Yeah.
Yeah, on video on demand. And so tell us about what's the story, what's your role in it?
So Abigail is a twisted teen love story thriller.
Mhm.
Um, it takes place in the 70s, which I think
I
adds a
love that. That's like my favorite decade.
right. It's a very, very like visually interesting, I think, place for a movie. I
Yeah.
don't know. I loved how it looked visually. It was a nice flavor on top of like the slasher horror element. So yeah, it has like a slasher element, I would say, to Abigail. And I play Abigail, and she's a messed up teenager. I would say she doesn't really have empathy, and
Right.
that causes her to have a lot of fun in her life. I think that she just doesn't really have she's just capable of so much more than what other people are capable of as far as bad things go, because she doesn't really have the limitations of empathy to her, which would
Right.
be
She's got nothing kind of holding her back.
yeah. So I think that there's a corruption story within Abigail, of Abigail corrupting the other main character, Lucas.
Yeah.
And it just I think that the audience reception has been really interesting because people are really drawn to those two characters together, which I love. And my scene partner Tren was like he was so fantastic, such a great actor for the role. Like he just really embodied it, and I don't know, I think we just played off each other really well. And I think it's a good horror movie for teenagers too. Like
Yeah.
I think it's for everybody, but to me it would be a good first horror movie for me to watch.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so.
I kind of
It's
like
a
that.
good yeah, it has a lot of elements to it. It's not really just the horror. It's not just the slasher. It's
Yeah.
kind of a thriller. It has a lot of plot twists. It has a lot of unexpected moments. It has um people to root for in there. And then there's people who you really know you shouldn't be rooting for, but you root for some reason.
Yeah.
That would be my character from
That
what
had
I've
to be
heard.
kind of fun to play.
Oh, it was so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really fun. It was also really hard too because I think I always look for not particularly like a connection to myself to the character, but I look for an understanding. Like I don't need to have
Right.
any relation to the character, but I want to understand what they're coming from. Like in each conversation, in each scene, whoever the scene partner may be, I really want to understand the intention behind the character. And with Abigail, her intention is just so different from a normal person's.
Yeah.
Like it's always a manipulation tactic. And trying to get in the head of the in her head, um, it was hard. It was a challenge just because I really wanted to be able to predict what she would do, yet
Right.
she's so unpredictable.
Well, is she that way with everybody, or are there like people that she's close to that she maybe treats a little differently than she does everybody else?
That's a fun question. I think that she treats everybody super differently because there's always a different angle. Like with
Yeah.
Lucas, she shows this really cute, fun, bubbly side to her. Um, and it's a tactic to manipulate him. With her mom, that wall comes down and you see the really just kind of rotten side to her.
Right.
um and then with her dad, trying to be like as least spoiler as I can. But like, I don't know, to put it like without spoilers, her dad is the person she's her truest self with. And there's a little detail in the movie. I don't know if anybody caught it, but
Yeah.
everybody calls her Abby because that's her outside persona. And there's only one person that calls her Abigail. And if you watch the movie, then you can see who it is. And
Ooh,
that's the one person that she's her true self with.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little,
A little deeper meaning when
yeah.
you're watching.
Which I think is so fun to do. Like that's why I think script writers, like screenwriters, just can have so much fun with like putting those tiny little Easter eggs in there.
And as fans, we love that.
Oh my god, I love them too.
Yeah.
Yeah, things I'm fans with, I'm always looking for those too because I know that they're there as an actor. Like
Yeah,
when you're,
and that's the fun part is, and it's
yeah.
tough the first time you watch it. A lot of times you have to watch something a second time so
Oh
that
yeah,
you already know the story, so you can really concentrate on what's going on in a scene,
yeah,
and then you can pick out the Easter eggs.
yeah. I love rewatching things. That's
I do
I
too.
hope that something that Abigail is something that people would want to rewatch because if they did, they would find something new. I don't know. I think they'd at least find 3 new things if they watched it a second time.
Okay. Okay. Did you enjoy the outfits?
Yeah, the 70s outfits were so cool. Like the majority of my wardrobe and Lucas's, and I think my mom's, and I think my dad's were real clothes from the 70s,
That's
which was a
awesome.
really fun time. That was like the first time I met a friend one on one, and we went like shopping with the wardrobe and the director for all the 70s outfits, and we were like trying them on, and we were going to these really cool vintage stores in LA, and it was, I don't know, it just helped. I think it helped me embody the
Yeah.
character just a little bit more because you knew that you were wearing something authentic. Also, the color coding of the wardrobe is something I really liked. Everybody kind of
70s
had,
were interesting with their because there was a lot of like yellows and browns and
yeah,
and then you had your brighter collars too in there, but it's a little bit different than how we typically dress now.
yeah, I really agree. Yeah, because shopping. I remember shopping for the wardrobe. It was a lot of neutrals,
Yeah.
and that's not particularly what we did for the movie, but we kind of needed a little bit more color in there.
Yeah, you got to put some collar in there. Did you get to
Yeah,
wear bell bottoms?
bell bottoms. Yeah, I love the bell bottoms.
Bell
I'm
bottoms are
still,
great. They're coming back a little bit.
yeah, they are. They
Yeah.
are because nobody just wears like skinny jeans anymore. So now bell bottoms. Yeah,
Yeah, you got to add some flair to that.
yeah. I got to keep. I there the bell bottoms were actually most of them were originally mine anyway. I just pulled from my wardrobe.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I can kind of wear them and you know be like, haha, I wore this in Abigail.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did you keep enough to where, like, if you wanted to dress up as Abigail for Halloween, you could do it?
Ooh, yeah, 100%. I kept most of the wardrobe. So,
Okay, I'm going to pitch a YouTube channel idea to you. Right,
okay.
so you just dress up as Abigail, whatever
Hmm.
in character, and then you just go through your day, but in
Yeah,
character. So it's like her at the coffee shop, going through the drive-through, that type of stuff. But you're in character. I think that would be
I love
hilarious.
that.
Yeah,
I love that.
I'd watch that channel.
Okay. Okay. Fine. If I do that, credit will totally be yours. I will
That's
try
all I
to.
want. A little special thanks somewhere in the
Oh yeah,
one that
it'll be
you.
a big special thanks because that's all your idea. I think that's super fun.
Well,
Hey,
I
if
could
I
come
have
up
the
with some
wardrobe.
ideas. I just can't execute them. That's you'll have to take it from there.
Okay. I think next year for Halloween I should be Abigail.
You
Or
have
at
to
least
be
just like or at least just post it on like take a picture and post it.
at least
Too
minimum.
weird to dress up as yourself for real, you know.
It's kind of strange. I didn't think of it
Yeah.
that way, but yeah, a little.
It's just a little too conceited, I think. Like going to a Halloween party. Yeah. For a post for Abigail
You
fans,
have to do
hopefully.
a post.
Yeah.
Although, if you did a convention and dressed up in character, fans
Oh,
would love that.
I love conventions too. I love Comic Con. I go almost every year.
Really?
Oh yeah, I'm a huge Star Wars fan.
Oh yeah, you're going up in my eyes.
Yeah, so like these characters in the background, Obi-Wan, Chewie, yeah, I'm a big fan.
Yeah, so the thought here, right? This I don't have very many good ideas, but this was one of them. I'm a Star Trek fan. I love Star Wars too. You can be both. Most people don't think so.
Oh
You can
yeah.
be both. But I wanted a bunch of characters yelling Khan, kind of like William Shatner did in Star Trek 2. So that's
Yeah.
why they're all with their mouth open. They're supposed to be yelling.
They're all yelling. Yeah.
He's in there somewhere.
Ooh, I like it.
Yeah. So that was my thought. I was like, let's put him in there.
Yeah.
The problem is I'm terrible at Photoshop. So what in my head, I was envisioning every time I'd have a guest on, I'd throw them in the background. I just have to find it. All I'd have to do is find a picture with their mouth open, throw them in the background.
That's a lot of work, though.
It's a lot of work. So this is it.
That's so sad. There's like we all have so many good ideas, and finding the time to like you just got to pick one.
That's it.
You only one. That's all you have time for.
Let me ask you this. Okay, and this this is off topic, but I'm curious.
Mm-hmm.
When you clean, if you're going to clean your room,
yeah,
you destroy the room first and then put it back together, or
yes.
do you do little? Okay, that's what I thought. 100%. I just had a feeling.
100%. I absolutely do that. I totally get made fun of for that, but for me, the process of like cleaning, I don't know, like usually when I have to clean, you got to organize first. It's like you got to tidy up the stuff.
Absolutely.
To me, I need to rip it all apart, throw it on a giant pile. Yeah.
So the question that was a question, but here's the real question: is once you do that and you get everything and it's just a mess, and now you're actually ready to put it all back together, are you too tired to fool with it? Do you just walk away and leave the mess?
Oh, you're just kind of like reading into my soul right now. I'd say it's like a 60-40. 60% of the time, I'm too tired. I got to walk away. Yeah. 40% of the time, I've had enough coffee. I have music playing, and I have some motivation.
Okay, I think that's the key. You got to have a good drink, preferably with caffeine.
Yep.
And music, or something playing in the background to keep you moving.
Yeah. Are you the same?
No, but my wife is, and it drives me crazy because you pick a little spot and you clean that spot.
So you have it figured out.
I don't know. I think in my own way, I probably aggravate everybody too, but I kid her about it because she's let's take everything out of my closet. Well, now I'm too tired to put it back. So then it's just out.
Yeah, then it's just out. Exactly.
For maybe a week or two till
that's the situation I'm in right now.
Yeah.
I took everything out. I was like, oh, I'm going to do a winter cleaning. Get rid of some jackets. And now it's just like 100 jackets on my bed. Yeah, wow. I feel like that question can be applied to a lot of things. Like that's how I do a lot of things in my life is I gotta like dig all the way before I can rebuild something.
And I don't think that's a bad way to do it. I was asking because just from watching and talking with people, it seems like the more creative you are, the more likely you are to do it that way.
Okay.
That's just a theory, though. I don't know.
I like that theory. I think that you should definitely keep testing that theory.
I'm just working on this book that we're putting together.
Put it in
I
the
can
book.
go in there.
Yeah.
Acting book from, a non-actor.
I really like sometimes I forget I'm an actor because, well, I don't know. Like there's being a consumer of pop culture and being really into movies and television and pop culture. And I'm a big consumer myself, huge. So that's such a big part of me. And I think that, there's a lot of people that don't watch television. There's a lot of people that just don't, I don't know, they're not reading a lot of books. They're not consuming a lot of pop culture. And there's people that aren't actors that do that. And there's people who are actors that do that. And I think both perspectives are so valuable. Like,
yeah, I agree.
I think a good new example of that is, what's his name? Superman, Witcher.
Oh, Henry Cavill.
Henry Cavill. Henry Cavill, King of Nerds.
Yeah.
The way that he's so passionate about, because he's such a nerd and he has all this love of pop culture as a consumer, that he was really bringing it out, like especially for The Witcher.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Um, and I would absolutely be that person because I think it's so valuable to cater to the fans, especially to like an extent, like not like fan servicey way, but like you're making this for people to love.
Right.
I tried to make Abigail, like my part of it, something that people would love or want to watch again. So I think that both perspectives are so important.
See, I love that. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I like that a lot because it frustrates me because I'm not very creative. So my mind doesn't, like I can't deconstruct and then
Mhm.
reconstruct. In my mind, it just has to be orderly. So
Yeah.
I'm going through and straightening and cleaning,
Hmm.
but I don't personally, I don't think that's the best way to do it. But if you're partnered up with somebody that's the opposite, it can work
Yeah.
pretty well.
Great combo.
Yeah, I think it is because, like with me, I never stop cleaning. Anytime I walk through a room,
Mhm.
I'm straightening, I'm picking stuff up, taking it to the trash constantly.
Yeah.
So it's like so I'm kind of like a maintainer,
Yeah.
but then I don't do the deep cleaning stuff, which you have to do sometimes.
Yeah.
That's where my wife comes in because she'll
There you
just
go.
tear it all down and then put it all back together.
You also need that on set too. Like you need like I think that's the role of like a producer on set, is to be
Yeah.
really strategic, to be a maintainer, to be a
Somebody's
more
got to keep things moving.
yeah, you can't just get lost in the
Right.
thought
Which
all
that
the
happens a
time.
lot with creative people. Sometimes they just get kind of lost in the creation, and you're like,
Yeah.
we're kind of on a timetable.
And we got like days, the lights going down. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. See, this
Yeah.
is an interesting conversation. This isn't how I meant this interview to go, but it's
Oh no, I had to
been an
like
interesting conversation.
yeah. I mean, it's always fun because you get kind of like, I don't know, different people bring different things to podcasts and
Yeah.
yeah, their questions, their
Podcasts are, I think, better if you're just having a conversation.
yeah, yeah,
Because yeah, especially people that listen to podcasts tend to listen to a lot of them.
yeah.
If you're a fan of someone and you watch several different things that they're on, you don't want to see the same questions over and over. You've already heard
No,
those.
no. So yeah, I think that's super cool too. Like if you, let's say an actor does multiple podcasts with different people,
Yeah,
if they're good podcasters, then there's going to be a different interview every time,
that's right. That's
you
right. It
know?
should be, I think.
Yeah.
Now, I kind of look at that, like if if you have a movie coming out, you're starring in a movie and you do the talk show
Mhm.
circuit, which a lot of people do. You'll see somebody pop up on the Tonight Show and then the next day they're on Seth Meyers or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's basically the same interview. And I'm like, I'm not a fan of that. Mix it
Yeah.
up.
I think that you have to do, if you're going to do that, do both because,
Well, you
you're going
have
to
to
get
talk
people.
about the subject. That's pretty much going to be similar,
Yeah.
but then add your own flair to it.
Add your own flair. Because then if people get interested and they learn about the project, because
Mhm.
I went on the news, like I did, a couple of those, and it's really cool because now, maybe more people know. But
Right.
then what if they want to know more? What if they want to hear more?
Well, that's
Then
where I think as fans, we want to go deeper and we
yeah,
want to know about the actors that are starring in the stuff that we love.
yeah. Yeah, I do too. Again, as a consumer, that's the
I
other
know.
side.
What was your I'm guessing your Star Wars the prequels? Was that your first Star Wars?
No, I mean technically the timeline does line up, but my dad introduced me to the
Oh, that's good parenting.
yeah, no, it is good parenting. Yeah. So, I mean, those are totally the best in my opinion.
Do you
Just
have a favorite? Like I'm a Empire guy. That's my
yeah,
favorite.
I am too.
Yeah.
I
I
think that
think
that's
that's
a
the best
popular.
one.
What was that?
I was saying I think that's the best one.
It's the best one. I agree. It's the best one.
Even with the kind of open ending.
Yeah. I think that. it is kind of interesting how there was people who, yeah, I mean, there's people who, when they get introduced to Star Wars, they just start with the originals because that's, like an OG
Mhm.
fan introduces them to that, which was
Yeah.
me. And then there's people who, grew up with the prequels or grew up with the sequels. And I don't know. To me, whatever gets you into Star Wars
Yeah,
and
same.
you
I'm
get
that
into
way
it,
too. Like I enjoyed the prequels. I wasn't a fan of the prequels like I was for the original trilogy. But
right?
my son, he's born
Mm.
in the late 90s. That
Yeah,
was, they had just started to come out. That's the ones he kind of attaches himself to. He loves those first three. He still
yeah.
enjoys the other ones, but that's his Star Wars.
Mm,
So
makes sense.
I'm good either way. As long as you're in and watching the stuff I like, go ahead.
Right? Exactly.
I just want
100%.
somebody to talk to about it.
As long as we can talk about Star Wars, as long as you get my references, we're good.
We're good.
Doesn't matter your favorite.
And like I admittedly, everything that they're putting out isn't great, but a lot of it's really good. And I'm just happy they're putting stuff out.
Andor, and
Andor was amazing.
especially the first season of Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Andor was like just incredible to me. It was
It came the closest to like recapturing the first time you watch Star Wars feeling.
agreed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, that show is so good. So I mean, as long as there's now that they've made Andor, there's always a possibility of them making something amazing like that again. So I'll
Well,
be
they
fine,
will. I'm sure they will. I
right?
kind of I'm a fan, of so many things, but I get frustrated with other fans because especially Star Wars especially because if they grew up where they went and saw Star Wars at the theater when it first came out, 77, and they went there, nothing had ever been out before that was like that. So you're
Yeah.
never going to recapture that moment. That's what they expect to see every time they watch a Star Wars show. And I'm like, you're not going to get, first of all, you're probably a kid when you
Yeah.
watch it. So it had that impact on you.
Magic to it.
Yeah. And you can enjoy the rest of them, but you're not going to recapture that. Oh my gosh, I've never seen anything like this. This is the best thing I've ever seen feeling.
So true.
I know.
That's yeah. Yeah, they need to let go of that expectation.
They got to let go.
That's
Just
inner thing.
enjoy the new.
Just enjoy it. I'm a,
It didn't
I'm a
bother
big
me.
enjoyer.
Did it bother you that the CGI on Luke Skywalker wasn't 100%? That didn't bother me at all. I was like, it's Luke
Didn't bother me at all.
Skywalker.
It's him. It's the guy. Yeah, I don't know. Like I like I don't know. I'm not there's people that are haters and there's people that are enjoyers, and
Yeah,
I don't know, unless something's really bad, I'm an enjoyer. I like to just watch something
same.
that's gonna keep me captivated.
It's rare when I watch something I'm just like, that was terrible. I can usually find something I liked in just about everything.
I love that perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and sometimes you got to know going in what you're going to watch,
Yeah.
and then set your expectations there. There's movies you go to and you're like, this isn't probably going to be good, but it could be fun.
Could be fun.
You can still
Yeah.
have a good time, even if maybe the writing's not the best or whatever.
Yeah. I don't know. There's even movies too where I'm like, this is not gonna be fun, but it's gonna be good.
Yes. Some movies are hard to watch, but they're good. Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
perfect example.
Yeah.
There's TV shows like that, like what's the Bear? Everybody loves the Bear,
Cool.
right?
I've
And
been
it's a
thinking about
great show.
watching that.
Yeah, it's a great show. But
Okay.
it's one of those you can watch one episode, but you're not going to binge it because it's so tense and heavy. You got to take a break and come back.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, you
I
don't
don't
want to sit and watch it all day, or you're just going to be like,
Ugh.
because it's just so they're in a restaurant, but it's so tense.
Yeah.
Watching, you finish watching, and you feel a little stressed, but it's so
Mm,
good.
okay. Yeah, that's a good example.
Yeah. So we liked you in Lights Out.
Mm. Oh, thank you.
That was a good movie.
Yeah, I think so too.
It was.
Thank you.
That was pretty good. Did that one kind of like give you, I know you've done some leading stuff before, but did that one kind of give you a hint that, okay, maybe I could be the lead on something?
I think that was like my first, I mean, that was my first big movie that I've ever done. It was like a Warner Brothers movie, and
Yeah.
I had never, I was on Nickelodeon as a kid. That was definitely like an introduction to a bigger project. But yeah,
I used
that
to
was,
watch you on the Haunted Hathaways. We'd watch that show
oh, thank you.
when the
Yeah.
kids were younger. Yeah.
Going back. Yeah. Yeah, so that was really fun. And Lights Out was kind of the same experience where I was, yeah, I had like a smaller part in a big movie, and I think that's like a really great stepping stone. You don't want to just do it, be the lead in a movie after
Be
not really,
hard.
yeah, it's too much. You need experience. And that was a really good experience. It was a good experience in horror. Um David Sandberg's just, that was like his first big project, and he's just kept on doing really great
Yeah,
things.
he's amazing.
Yeah. I loved the application from the short, and I really had a fun time doing the role. Like I did a lot of like physical challenging acting when
Oh,
we filmed the scenes. It was
yeah.
very like I think my dance background really helped me because they wanted somebody super kind of creepy to embody. I don't know, like they wanted like something super physically creepy. And
Yeah.
then I went back and I did a lot of ADR and voiced the adult I'm gonna say Abigail, adult Hannah.
Right.
And
Right.
that was really fun too. Like getting to do some really creative voice acting was a blast. So I kind of got
Yeah.
like all kinds of interesting little learning experiences from that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Because yeah,
Yeah.
voice acting is its own beast.
Yeah, it is. It
Yeah.
is. Yeah. I only get taste of that when I do ADR,
Right.
which is still fun. I love it. So,
Yeah, I didn't know what ADR was until I started doing the podcast, but it's so
mhm.
important. If you didn't have that in a TV show or movie, you'd notice.
Oh, you would. Oh, you would for sure. Yeah. Yeah. It's so necessary.
Yeah, that's
It's a
pretty good.
great
Have you got to play a dancer in anything?
No. Mm-mm.
Mhm.
I'm at the point where I don't think I could
Yeah, I
anymore.
know. If it, at some point as you get older, if you haven't kept it up, it'd be difficult.
Yeah, I just went so long without really keeping it up. It would, I mean, if I had a lot of time to train and pick it back up, I could. But and I got into Muay Thai last year, so
Oh
I've been
yeah,
doing a lot of martial arts. So I think I'd rather do that first and do
dance
like a,
probably help you with that.
oh, it so did. Yeah. Because if I kept anything, it was building blocks for that. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because it's going to help with your flexibility and your strength and all of that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, like I went in and I could immediately do like head kicks. And most of, I don't know, especially guys with like less flexibility, they
I don't
can't.
think I could get my leg above my waist.
Yeah, they honestly, a lot of people have like a struggle getting it up there. So that was yeah, that was like a nice helpful.
Yeah, that's pretty. I didn't think of that, but yeah, that of course you'd be able to do the kicks.
It's good body awareness too. Like I think that if I ever did more stunt work in a movie too, just having that kind of extra awareness, it would be super helpful,
Yeah.
which I
Well,
did do
yeah, and
some.
your and with balance, it help you with your balance.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you got your butt kicked yet?
Oh my god, every day, all the time. Constantly getting humbled. Yeah, for sure. It's just part of the fun. I also did compete too, so that was like that intensity of that was
Yeah.
not something that, I don't know, it's not something that most people are gonna want to do, but I had a really great time and I'd like to do it again. But I think that like I go to this studio where everybody's so kind to one another. You recognize that like you're fighting your friends, and there's a low level of intensity when you're sparring and stuff like that. But sometimes accidents happen and you get it punched too hard, and it's just part of it. And then if that happens, then you're like, oh, okay, well, Now I'm gonna have a really solid block.
That's right. I'll do a little better next time.
Right? I'll do my part better.
I just watched that Friends episode
Mm.
where Monica's dating the billionaire and he decides that he's going to become a UFC fighter. So
What? I don't remember that episode.
you don't remember that? And so he goes
Oh.
in his first fight, and they're all of them are there, and he just gets destroyed. And she's like, "Hey, good for you for trying it," and
Yeah.
all this. And he looks at her and he's like, "Am I the ultimate fighting champion?" And she's like, "No, you got destroyed." And he's like, "Well, then I'm not quitting." So she's like, "Well, I can't date you if you're gonna, just go out there and yourself."
Oh,
So the next
funny.
time you see him, he's like in a full body cast because he went and fought again and just got.
Oh no! I need to watch that episode.
It's season 4. I don't, or maybe it's late season 3. It's one of those, early season 4, late season 3.
Okay, I have a feeling I'm gonna love that.
I go through the like when I'm working, I like having sitcoms on just in the background because I've seen them, but you can listen, not always have to look up, and what's going on. So
Yeah.
I went through Seinfeld and Modern Family, Big Bang like twice, and so I went through all Parks and Rec, Office, all of them, and so I was like, I guess it's Friends. I guess I'm on Friends.
Yeah. Wow, you're going through all the good ones.
Yeah, well, you have to.
Yeah.
Those are, to me, it's like comfort food.
Mm.
Yeah. Star Wars is a little like that too.
Yeah, I can see that.
If Star Wars is on, I guarantee you sit down and watch at least for a minute. No matter what's episode or what part of the episode showing, you're going to watch for a minute.
Star Wars would distract me too much.
Yeah, me too. I could. That's not one I'd have in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Ava, thank you so much. This has been terrific. The best time. You let me just go off on tangents. I appreciate that.
That's what a podcast is, right?
Well, it's our version of it. I don't know if anybody else would agree with that, but
I think this is part of the fun. Yeah. And it was really nice talking about Abigail and all our other stuff and our
Abigail sounds awesome. Our plan is we can seat about 20 in the studio. So tomorrow night because we're leaving for Vegas Saturday, we're bringing in all the kids, their spouses, and we're gonna have some food. Watch
Abigail.
Watch Abigail.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. I think we'll have somewhere between 15, 20 watching it. So we're very and I'll watch most of it. The really slashery parts, I'll probably have my eyes closed, but otherwise,
that's okay. I understand. That would probably be me too if I didn't know what was coming.
But that'll be a fun one. That's kind of our.
It's fun.
Yeah, we're going to enjoy it, and it's in the 70s. Love the 70s.
Right?
I know.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
I meant to ask you, any chance that we get, a sequel, anything like that?
I think it ends with a little bit of an open end, and I think that the potential for a sequel exists, and I think that the story there has amazing possibility for a sequel. I already have like my wheels spinning on what I want to happen, so
we could even do a trilogy.
Yeah, honestly, that's what I have in mind for Abigail. Okay. In my head, with my wheels turning.
In your head, does the story progress into the 80s and 90s, or does it stay back in the 70s?
I think it stays in the 70s. I think a lot of stuff would happen in a very short amount of time.
It was like 76 or something like that. Does that sound right?
Yeah, it does. I mean, Abigail, like my character is just like a ticking time bomb. She can't really go that long without chaos. Right. So I think that if you just even took out a couple months, like that's 2 more movies right there.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'm sold. I think I'm gonna make some calls.
Okay. Do it.
Yeah, let's see. 1976 was the bicentennial. So I was 7 at that time. So that was our 200th year, of a nation. And they used to have this bicentennial train that traveled America I still remember when it came through West Virginia because we got to go and see it. And it's basically just the old steam locomotive dressed up in USA colors, but they call it
That's
bicentennial.
cool.
So yeah, that's when I saw it was 76. I was like, that's the memory it
Well,
invoked.
that's going to be in the second movie. The train. There's going to be a train shot.
Could you make that just in the background? Just
Yeah.
have the train go past, but the bicentennial train.
Yeah. I
Okay.
agree.
All right. So a couple quick things, Dave, before I let you go. Anything that you're working on that we can keep an eye out for?
A zombie apocalypse survival movie could be in the works.
What's the name for it? Can you give that?
Like Abigail's title changed so many times.
Okay, fair.
I think I'm gonna wait
Yeah.
for solid information.
Is it based on a book or is it an original screenplay?
It's an original screenplay and it's beautiful. I really love it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's exciting. I've always been a zombie fan. Even before Walking Dead came along, I was always kind of into stuff. But I'm so happy that those movies are still getting made. And like everyone that comes out is a little different.
Yeah.
Like a different take on zombies, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, I think that's a great factor in zombie movies is there's room for interpretation there.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll keep an eye out for that. Is that coming out this coming year?
No, it's not. So yeah, City of the Dead is currently the title. So if I am talking about that in the future, it would probably be it'd probably take longer than a year for it to.
Yeah, something to keep an eye out for. That's exciting.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming once you can give more details on it, you'll put it on social media. So where can we find you on social media?
Ava Cantrell on Instagram, the Ava Cantrell on Twitter or X. And then, I'm just on Facebook. I'm on, pretty much all the platforms.
Are you on TikTok?
No, I'm not.
But you're a dancer.
It's not my thing. Yeah, I don't know. TikTok's too
it's kind of intimidating.
It is intimidating. I think that's what it is. It's a little, me as a social media consumer, I keep my social media consumption low. And I think that TikTok is like, if you have the app on your phone, it's a void. So
it'll suck you in. You're right.
Yeah. So I just stay away from it. So I'm not on TikTok.
That is true. Because if you go on Instagram or even Facebook, chances are you're there for a minute, 2 minutes at the most. You're just kind of, you look at a few pictures and you're gone. But you go to TikTok, you could get stuck for hours.
You certainly can.
Ava, thank you so much. This has been a blast. Please come back whenever you've got something coming out. Or if you just want to talk nonsense, just come on back.
For sure. Yeah, we can talk Star Wars or we can talk, next projects for sure.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Anytime you want to talk Star Wars, just come on.
Okay.
We'll wear people out with that.
Yeah. With our opinions.
They're like, enough. We get it. You love Star Wars. All right, Ava, hold on 1 second. Ava Cantrell, just a terrific actress. And hopefully I didn't wear her out too much with my tangents, but that was, to me, just the best interview. I had a really good time talking with her, and she was a good sport. If you haven't seen her in anything, she's a really good actress. And I love the fact that she's not taking it too serious. She's very serious about her craft, but she's making sure that she's got a backup with her education, and she's viewing it as more, when something comes along, that's where all my focus is going to be, but I'm not going to stress out about it in between projects. So I think that's healthy. That's pretty good. Loved her on Young Sheldon. We talked about that. I'm sure if you've got younger kids or preteens, then you probably know about the Haunted Hathaways on Netflix. She was Penelope, I think, was her character. Really good. Lights Out. She played the younger Diana, which was awesome. And then her new movie is Abigail, which is out now. It's a little scary, but it's also a thriller, kind of a thinker. Got a little bit of humor in it. Really looking forward to watching the entire movie. It takes place in the 70s. You can't beat that. That's my opinion, the best decade. So Abigail's out now. Please support Ava. Please support the movie. I don't think you'll regret it. I think she's just getting started. We're going to see her in more and more things, especially now that she's taking on more of leading type roles. I think we're going to see her in bigger and bigger things. So keep your eye out for Ava. If you're finding us for the first time, thank you. We're so happy that you're here. We can definitely use your support if you liked us enough to give it. If you're a watcher, our YouTube channel is MeisterCon Pod. Please just subscribe. Really help us out. If you prefer to listen, just wherever you listen to your podcast from, just subscribe there. That helps us out as well. Today we're posting episode 708. Can't believe that we hit our 5-month anniversary here in a couple of weeks. So that's a lot of episodes, tons of stuff, tons of people that you can enjoy. You can find all those episodes, audio and video, on our website, meistercon.com. Please check us out there if we're doing anything in studio, like watching Abigail. It'll be on there if we're going on location, if we're covering a convention, anything we have going on, be on the website, meistercon.com. So please check us out there. Last thing, IMDb, which is the entertainment database, recently named us a top 100 podcast. I'm flabbergasted by it. It just amazes me that we would be considered by anybody to be a top 100 podcast. But there we are, 15 million podcasts and counting out there to be on someone's top 100 list. Just unbelievable with that. And if you would like to support us that way, it's even easier than subscribing. Go to imdb.com, look up the Two Opinionated podcast. As soon as that page comes up, it helps us. Just that traffic on the page really helps us out. I was looking at some of IMDb's rankings, and we were ahead of just some big podcasts, like some of the Marvel stuff, Only Murders in the Building, which I love the show and the podcast, just terrific. So it's a real honor. Love to have you check out our page, imdb.com, Two Opinionated podcast. Thank you guys so much. Till next time. Bye, everybody. Hi, everybody. I'm once again here to ask for your support. It's been a big year for the Two Opinionated podcast. Back in February, we got to live out a dream, moderate for William Shatner here in our hometown. In May, we passed 100,000 downloads on our YouTube channel, and we followed that up in June with 50,000 downloads on the audio side. We recently posted our 600th episode, which is pretty good volume for just a father and son operation. Not too many podcasts can keep that volume up. We've been doing this now for 4.5 years, 600 plus episodes. We recently hit 1,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel, which is a really big deal for us because we've always gotten the views, but have struggled to get people to subscribe. So that 1,000 was a big deal for us. And best of all, we were recently named one of the top podcasts on IMDb, which is the entertainment database. Those that are ahead of us, we came in at number 82. Those that are ahead of us are bigger companies like Disney, mostly Marvel, and Joe Rogan, that type of podcast. So for us, being just a small West Virginia father and son podcast, to be in the top 100 out of 15 million, it's a pretty big deal for us. So thank you for everything you've done for us so far. Got a couple little ways, though, that you can help us, and they're free, and they're really easy. If you haven't checked out our YouTube channel yet, please go to YouTube. It's under MeisterCon Pod. Just hit subscribe. It's free. Doesn't cost you anything. Really helps us a ton. And maybe even more important, if you could go to imdb.com, look up the Two Opinionated podcast, and just look around the page. Just having that traffic on the page really helps us out. So that's a couple easy ways that you can support us, even if you're not listening or watching all of the time. And we want you to listen and watch, because I think that our guest list, I would put up against anybody, any other show, podcast, anybody out there. I think our guest list holds up. So please check us out. You probably will find somebody that you like, or maybe somebody that you didn't know you liked, but kind of discovered them on there. There's tons of that. If you're into music, we have that too. If you like books, we've got authors on there. If you're more into what goes on behind the scenes in the entertainment world, we've got producers, directors, video artists, anything you can think of that happens behind the scenes, we've had them on the show. So definitely check us out. Thank you guys so much. Until next time. Bye, everybody.